Welcome to the Camnet News. To present it, my name is Banda Tandiwe. The headlines. Local government suspends Lusaka and Kitwe city councils. HH refutes accusations to dethrone Chief Timokulu. PF to hold intra-party elections under new normal. In our international news, U.S. Senator Tom Cotton defends slavery remarks. And in our sports news, 40 referees undergo CAF FIFA online training. Do join me with the details after this break.
Msika is here. We have you all covered with just 150 kwacha. You can advertise every day from 17 hours to 18 hours. For a 30-second ad, get the benefit of selling your products and services on Msika. For more details, call our marketing department on +260 953 995099 +260 962 444-726 or +260 971 177 467. Email us on info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. My name is Banda Tandiwe. Local Government Minister Charles Banda has suspended Lusaka City Council and Kitwe City Council for 3 months. Local Government Minister Charles Banda has with immediate effect suspended Lusaka City Council LCC and Kitwe City Council for 3 months for illegal land allocation. Speaking at a joint press briefing which was held with his land's counterpart, Jin Kapata, Banda says this is in order to allow the ministry to deal with the ills that have been happening at the councils. Mr. Banda says it is hoped that during the 3-month suspension, all civic leaders at the two councils will introspect and come back as better councillors. Mr. Banda further added that a warning has been sent to other councils that might want to be on the wrong side of the law that will not be spared. Let's get the details of this report.
The wrangles between two leaders in Matero have yielded what others may call positive results. The authority has acted against the illegal land allocation in Matero Ward 28, Emersdale area. Last week, after a video circulated of two leaders fighting over a piece of land, ministers of land and local government visited the named site and discovered that the council erred in allocating the pieces of land and temporal permits, including those that wanted to extend their yards. In this process, the two ministers discovered that the process in questions were not fit for any development. Minister of Local Government Dr. Charles Banda has since suspended the operations of Lusaka and Kitwe City Council for illegal land allocation away from their mandate for a period of 3 months. In this, the authority will investigate the matter in both councils to ascertain the extent of illegalities. Dr. Banda says all those councillors found wanting will be punished.
I wish to announce now that I've suspended the Lusaka City Council for 3 months to give us chance to correct the ills that are in that council. May I also announce that I have with immediate effect suspended Kitwe City Council so that we are able to go in and correct the ills. And I'm hoping that in that 3 months, as we try to put things correct, our friends are going to have an introspection and come back as better councillors and civic leaders in those very, very important institutions. Apart from that, let me also send a warning to other councils that are in this habit of perpetually wanting to be on the wrong side of the law, that we're not going to spare anybody. There's no sacred cow in this. We may come back soon should these activities persist in other councils to do the same, suspend them and correct issues there.
And speaking at the same briefing, Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Jin Kapata, has revoked its land agency from the two councils.
This opportunity to caution all our provincial land officials in the provinces not to endorse illegality before they can endorse to start preparing for title. They must be able to go on the ground and verify that those pieces of land are available for allocation. So having said that, I also want to add that as Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, we are withdrawing our agency, the agreement that we had under secular one of 1985 from Lusaka City Council and Kitwe City Council for 3 months until further notice. We need to do an audit in those districts.
Meanwhile, Lusaka Province District Commissioner says the government will not allow any illegalities to take place under their watch.
That does not mean that the government is not there. The government is there to ensure that all the services are rendered to the people and the community of Lusaka in accordance. What we are now trying to advise our friends outside there, those especially who are in construction and those who have got the money to do the construction, is to ensure before you do the construction, be certain that you have the document in place. You have the authority to build. Because this issue of just building anyhow is not there. The government cannot tolerate, and we're not going to allow this kind of behavior. People, when they want to build, no, Lusaka is a well-planned settlement now.
In this 3 months period, the minister will appoint an officer to foresee the happenings of the councils while investigations take place. The suspensions include Lusaka Mayor Mao Sampa and Kitwe Mayor Christopher Kangombe and all the councillors in the two respective councils for a period of 3 months. Sharon Kalimbula, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Some wheelbarrow pushers have asked the Lusaka City Council to revisit its decision of taxing wheelbarrow owners every month. The wheelbarrow pushers have told Camnet TV that being taxed by the council will make their lives more difficult. More details in this report.
But muri weuba muri be business irimo monga nowadays nchito inavuta chifukwa cha corona muri be cheti peza uzapeza ti penangu days unasevenze uzakomboka so chapi yo day wapangako nikapena 20 kwacha then mwine wachi weuba afunika ndrama na 10 kwacha timalipira every day.
The idea of beginning to tax wheelbarrow pushers has not sunk in well with some of the wheelbarrow pushers, especially members of the general public. The Zambian economy is harsh as Zambians are being taxed out of anything. Prices of commodities are high and many are unemployed, especially in this global pandemic. 26th of July 2020, the Lusaka City Council released a statement indicating beginning the 1st of August 2020, wheelbarrow owners will be charged an amount of 5 kwacha for each modified wheelbarrow used for public transportation of goods. This was aimed at so the merchandise for traders can be protected. According to the statement, it is believed many customers to the wheelbarrow pushers have been complaining of many of their goods being lost. Now, some of the wheelbarrow pushers have asked the council to revisit this decision as they will fail to survive the harsh conditions of life. They say no much is made in a day out of pushing wheelbarrows. They have revealed they make about 50 kwacha per day but have to pay 10 kwacha to the wheelbarrow owners on a daily basis.
It depends na customer menari na jani amenaye na kusiana kwa customers.
Like for instance, mumapanga zingata
ngati wasevenza bwino maybe 50 kwacha, maybe socha bengati yakosa na 0 na 20 kwacha socha.
Iyo ngani ya mataxi iri bwino but isafike monga like 5 kwacha 10 kwacha because maybe 20 pesa. So at least patifika ya mafiri kwacha na makadi just in case ma road ya mamoto kapaka na hivi sama tumabungiwa vija tikabungana olo manje ngani utilipilisa na series hapa meno but mataxi hivi ngale chabe bulu kuside kwatu taiona bwino. Okay. Jemushi. Kwa hiyo mapanga ni jat ili onse chap singa gambia ati napanga so konga na nchito na day. So azatitandiza kai just in case manga taxi tabunga motoka takako na kaja ma taenda kuja ku polisi atitandiza kupali yameti panga. But maubarozi yanu yamangala ya register just. Sali chabe buni. Uza kodi.
Ya mabara kudara yenzoenda mushe manje masiku anakulibe anapaka mabara penangu hapo okomboka na 20 kwacha ukule ndio ukule chani tumise marasha manje upasi na taxi so mabala ni ambile anapaka maningi mabala ina ngankala chota chito kulibe bina mabala ni 10 kwacha kuliba per day 10 kwacha so decha mimi nikaenda kuta kapela okay maybe ingakwa nisike manje chito madezi anakulibe kwamba che chirungama ngati bakabatabe maybe 2 kwacha bakwanise wanu manje muntu akomboke na 20 kwacha 10 kwacha alipe kuchani taxi mishi libe chi.
They say if they impose a tax on them, it means they have to pay more while they earn less. According to the council, the wheelbarrow owners will now be required to clearly label each wheelbarrow with a unique identification number, and the list will be submitted to the market management. Constance Mwemba reporting for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
Still on wheelbarrow pushes, the ruling Patriotic Front PF Secretary General has advised the council to channel bills of wheelbarrow owners to the party and avoid taxing wheelbarrow pushes. Mr. Mwila says the Patriotic Front party is a party for the poor and oppressing the poor is not their mandate. Let's get the details in this report.
The Patriotic Front Party has told Lusaka City Council LCC to quit taxing wheelbarrow pushers and direct the bill to the ruling party if there is any. Speaking at a press briefing held in Lusaka, PF Secretary General Davis Mwila says the ruling is a friend of the poor and additional burdens on the poor shall not be accepted.
I've always stated, colleagues, that this is a poor party and we always stand with the poor. And there was a decision that has been made by Lusaka City Council, which the party is not in support, where those are pushing wheelbarrows, they want to start charging them, and the party is not in support of that, and we expect Lusaka City Council to reverse the decision that they've made. If they insist, let them bring the bills to the party.
The party Secretary General says the party expects the council to reverse its decision of taxing wheelbarrow pushers. Mr. Mwila says these men push wheelbarrows to earn a living and the council should refrain from trying to make their living more difficult. Constance Mwemba reporting for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
And in other news, the United Party for National Development UPND president has refuted accusations that he intends to remove the current Chitimukulu. In a statement made available to Camnet TV News, president of the party Hakainde Hichilema says the party has no legal, moral desire or on other basis to carry out such a mission, as it is unattainable and well outside their cherished values, virtues and aspirations. Mr. Hichilema says the duty of the party is to work with all traditional leaders and other stakeholders in fostering economic and social development to benefit all the citizens in the whole country, regardless of ethnic, religious, political and other affiliations or artificial boundaries. He says as a country it is better to spend time and focus on discussing on more serious and pressing issues affecting our citizens, such as finding solutions to the economic meltdown and the COVID-19 pandemic, as these do not spare anyone from whatever backgrounds or political affiliation. Mr. Hichilema added that he is aware of the desperation of some opponents who have no messages for the masses other than driving hatred amongst citizens, as Zambians find these misplaced efforts to drive a wedge between citizens tragic, retrogressive, and a danger to national unity.
We have no legal, moral desire or other intentions to remove any traditional leader in our country. Let me be specific. We in the United Party for National Development, UPND, outside or inside government, has no intention nor capacity to interfere in the selection, continued reign, or indeed removal of any traditional leadership in this country. We simply have no legal, moral, desire, or other basis to carry out such a mission as is being alleged, falsely alleged. In as far as we are concerned, this is untenable and well outside our cherished values, virtues, and aspirations. May I say that our duty is to work with all traditional leaders, headmen, chiefs, paramount chiefs, and other in the traditional hierarchy of our nation, and indeed to work with other stakeholders in fostering economic and social development to benefit all our citizens in the whole of our country, regardless of ethnic, religious, political, and other affiliations, or indeed any other artificial boundaries others would like to create amongst our people. For the record, I, as Hakainde Hichilema, have never said or done anything against the Chitimukuru or the Bemba Royal establishments. The records are there.
The ruling Patriotic Front says it will continue to hold intra-party elections under the new normal. Patriotic Front Secretary General Davis Mwela says the party cherishes the ideals of intra-party democracy as it defines the party. He says intra-party elections are extremely important as they ensure there is continued renewal of the party's mandate of the people with the people. Mr. Mwila says the party will conduct elections in the remaining 6 provinces, namely Lusaka, Luapula, Muchinga, Northern, Western and Southern provinces, but will ensure there is maximum compliance to public health regulations concerning COVID-19. This was during a press briefing that was held in Lusaka. And in other news, Zambia in the last 24 hours has recorded 71 COVID-19 new cases, bringing the cumulative cases to 4,552. Health Minister Dr. Chitalo Chilufya, during a press briefing held in Lusaka, urged citizens not to treat the virus as a simple flu. Dr. Chilufya has advised those with symptoms of the virus to contact the ministry for testing. More in the following report.
In the last 24 hours, Zambia has recorded 71 new COVID-19 cases, 1 death, and on the positive part, 465 recoveries. On the new cases, 44 are from Ndola, 12 from Zambia's capital city Lusaka, 10 from Kalulushi, 4 from Solwezi, and 1 from Kathiwa district. This brings the cumulative cases to 4,552, total recoveries to 2,815, COVID-19 deaths to 39, COVID-19 associated deaths to 98, and active cases are now at 1,597. During the press briefing held in Lusaka today, the Health Minister Dr. Chitalo Chilufya had an interaction with health workers on the front line.
Experience in the COVID center.
Yeah, so I think COVID, first of all, it's not about. It's a global problem, it's a pandemic, meaning it's affecting the whole world. Zambia is not an exception. We have seen actually over the past few weeks, as you indicated, as you had shown in your slides, the number of people who are testing positive has actually increased. And a number of people could actually attest that at least now they know somebody who tested COVID positive. We will see, probably will ask one of our patients just to speak to the members of the public of how devastating this condition is. So it's not an easy disease. It's not a simple flu or a common cold that people normally experience. When it means to be severe, it's quite, a frightening condition. And it's both a concern and a worry to us as doctors and nurses managing these patients because it's unpredictable. It's a new disease. We are learning quite a lot of how to manage it. And there are certain surprises which previously were not reported elsewhere in the country that we are able to experience. And even when we discharge patients, we started seeing that a number of people are developing complications that we never anticipated. So my advice to members of the public is that please do not trivialize any symptom you might have in this period of COVID. Some people are coming with just a complaint of fatigue, Honorable Minister. And when we evaluate them, we actually find that it's COVID. So it's presenting in a way that we never imagined. So it's beyond a cough or a fever. It's actually affecting all systems. Joint pains, somebody failing to breathe, somebody feeling just weak and they feel like not getting out of bed, a mouth sore throat. And the cough that we are seeing is not, the typical cough like we have experienced where in TB, where people will have a protracted cough. It's more or less like a simple choke with saliva. So it's a simple cough that most people will trivialize. But when we examine and do a number of tests, we find that the damage on the lung is quite extensive. So we urge people not to trivialize any symptoms they might have in this period, because they might be having COVID.
The message is still the same. Follow the preventive measures as stipulated by the Ministry of Health. Remember to mask up, wash your hands and sanitize them, and always maintain a social distance for your own safety. Constance Mwemba reporting for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
And in other news stories, a senior government official has warned all those that are in the habit of attending events such as funerals, weddings, and other related activities to desist from doing so until COVID-19 is controlled. In an interview with Camnet TV, Lusaka Province District Commissioner David Sulubanje explains that COVID-19 is a deadly pandemic that needs everyone's effort to contain. Meanwhile, the District Commissioner has reviewed that the National Registration Office is renovating some offices to help decongest the offices for those wishing to acquire national registration cards. Sharon Kalimbula now gives us a report.
The effects of relaxing COVID-19 health guidelines such as masking up, hand sanitizing, and most importantly, social distancing is negatively affecting the fight against the pandemic. Events such as weddings and funerals are said to be breeding grounds for the virus, where most people attend these events fail to observe the health guidelines. At the National Registration Office, a place where thousands of people meet to acquire a national registration card, has received massive condemnation, especially that the office of the District Commissioner is located there. People gather in long queues waiting to be attended to without following the simple guidelines of at least masking up. Lusaka Province District Commissioner David Sulubanje explains that his office will soon engage the National Registration Office to see how best the situation can be handled.
From our offices, we are aware. So last week we were trying to do the disinfection of the whole area, because we believe that these offices receive a lot of people, especially from the other department for NRCs, National Registration Cards. That's where we've got a lot of our young people are trying to get their National Registration Card. As you are aware, we have already taken up the measures. There are two offices where they are supposed to get the NRCs. The other office is actually under renovation. We are about to finish. If you had taken a walk, you would have seen the other side that there's a renovation still going on. All this is done to ensure that we safeguard the health of our people who are coming here and maintain the social distance. We are trying to talk to the department to see how best we can do, perhaps to adjust time for these people are getting the NRCs so that we can put a system to follow. It is very good to note that a lot of people have come for NRCs of late. You have seen every time you pass through. But we have also sought help from the police. If you come there, you find that there are 2 or 3 police officers.
Meanwhile, the District Commissioner has warned all those in the habit of disregarding the set health guidelines of stern action when found wanting. The DC says officers will soon start checking compliance levels, especially on weekends, to ensure that people adhere to the set guidelines.
We have said, what I've observed of late is funerals. I think, can we stay away from funerals? Let the relatives mourn. This time we have got a very serious pandemic, and it is not good for you just because you want to be part of the funeral gathering. it is dangerous for you. And most of you, even if you go to attend the funerals, you are not masking up. Can we still follow the instruction from the health? Mask up, sanitize, or you can wash with soap and maintain social distancing. We going through these areas, we know some people are trying to do illegally, especially those who are running buses. Buses, of course, and bars. Can you stop doing that? That you lock people inside and they are drinking without social distance. We have our teams. Every day they go through out to check in the night and during the daytime. We will also be very, very, very active on Saturdays. We know there are Chilanga Mulilo, we have weddings and the other gatherings. That one we will not tolerate, and we are not going to encourage people.
Sharon Kalimbula, Camnet News, Lusaka.
And in other news, the Federation for Small-Scale Mining Association in Zambia has reached out to some of its members in Lufwanyama district to help them work safely under the presence of the coronavirus pandemic. The miners have been working without protective equipment, which the association felt could expose them to the pandemic. Some of the items handed out to the miners are face masks, hand sanitizers and various relief packages to see them through the current economic recession faced by the miners in the industry. Let's get the details in this report.
The COVID-19 pandemic has caused an economic shutdown globally, and Zambia is not an exception. Various sections of the economy have been left crippled. Currently, few mines are in operation due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Many calls to government have been made by the Zambia Chamber of Mines to manage the economic impact arising from the pandemic. The Federation of Small-Scale Mining Association in Zambia have taken it upon themselves, though not entirely, but have reached out to some of its members who have been operating under a harsh environment fueled by the pandemic in Lufwanyama district. These are Lufwanyama miners whose survival could only be by God's grace, as most of them worked without protective equipments. Making the donation, Federation for Small-Scale Mining Association of Zambia thanked the miners for their commitment, hence seeing to it that the miners were appreciated in form of relief packages.
I'm glad to be here and looking at you. I appreciate, despite the COVID, you have continued coming for work here. I can see the commitment that you have. And because of the continuous working here, that's why we're here in this time of COVID. But you have put everything aside. You have decided to come and continue working. So your hard work is not for nothing. So in appreciation, as the President has already mentioned here,
as affiliate association, which is ESMAS, to the Federation, and our sister sister women in mining, we are very grateful for this initiative that has come at such a right time, because as you are aware, because of this COVID-19, there is a lot of challenges that we are facing as small-scale miners, even in terms of cash flows and even acquiring food. So I think with this kind of support and initiative, this will go a long way in encouraging the producers, especially Mrs. Lewis, who is one of the directors in this mine. With this support, she'll be able to be encouraged to go a little further into our operation.
On behalf of the company, we would like to really appreciate seeing what the Federation, in conjunction with Assume, the work that they've put in. Today we've received foodstuff that we never expected. I personally, I would want to appreciate so much, and I've noticed that the little that I contribute to the association hasn't gone unnoticed. And the fact that we've been helped in this time of COVID-19, where we've seen very few mines are in operation, and then these two associations noticed that there is need to contribute, or rather give back to the community, and they've really demonstrated their gesture, of which is highly appreciated.
Reporting for Camnet Television in Lusaka, Zambia, Namwinga Mwinga.
You're still watching Camnet TV, not just another channel with Banda Tandiwe. We do take our last set of commercials and return with our international and sports news. Do stay with us.
I've used Oracle Pure Glycerin for 2 years now. It has really worked for me. It has cleared all the black spots on my face. It has restored my skin beauty. It also smoothens the skin. Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for perfect skin. If it's not Oracle Glycerin, then it's not pure glycerin.
Stay home, stay safe. Times have changed. With the advent of the coronavirus, Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company would like to advise its esteemed customers to avoid visiting crowded places. You don't have to move to pay your water bill. You can do it in the convenience of your home. You can pay your water bills through Zanaco Zapit, Stanbic Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, and FNB. You can also use Airtel, MTN, and Zamtel Kwacha mobile money transfer services. For any inquiries to report a fault, please contact our customer service on +260 211 251 571, +260 975 618 618, and toll-free line 5957, Zamtel only. You can also simply email customerservice@lwsc.com. This public announcement is brought to you by the Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company. Water is life. Sanitation is health.
To create a positive difference in people's lives, one must first understand the way people live. At Savenda, we're here for our community, our partners, and our future, as a nation and as a continent.
Back in 1997, we decided we were going to create this family journey into a bigger opportunity, and created a business called Savenda, which meant Save Nations to Develop Africa.
It's always important to give back to the people. The government cannot do everything, but as business entities, we'll be able to reach a lot of people.
From our humble beginnings in the telecoms and mining sectors to our work in energy and development projects, we know how important it is to be true to our roots.
Our services have to be diversified so that we don't depend on one income stream. Back in the village, I was growing up hunting and doing everything that a village boy would like to do. When you're hunting, you don't depend on one trap, for example. You have to have many traps. So those survival skills brought into the business created opportunities that we learned from a young age that you can't survive with just one product. Savenda Group involves Savenda Management, which is a consulting, Savenda Express, which is a corporate branding company, Savenda Electric, which is a manufacturer of energy-saving bulbs, Savenda General Insurance, which is a general insurance company, Savenda Fresh Produce, Cyber Africa, which is a center for just dealing with cyber security.
Now, Savenda is combining local knowledge with international expertise. It's time to be a part of Zambia's rising success and Africa's exciting future.
We are a gateway into Africa, and now we are praying with global companies who are coming to Zambia for opportunities and to look for companies that are homegrown, and we are proud to be one of those.
You're watching Camnet TV, not just another channel with Banda Tandiwe, the main news. And now in international news, a senator for the state of Kansas is defending comments he made on slavery in the United States. Republican Senator Tom Cotton says the U.S. founders viewed slavery as a necessary evil upon which the Union was built. His comments were criticized as an attempt to justify the slavery of the black people. He is introducing legislation to ban federal funds for a project by the New York Times newspaper aimed at revising the historical view of slavery. The project's founder expressed outrage at the remarks. And in our sports news, 40 Zambian referees have undergone a CAF FIFA certified online course as part of the development process for Wissamen and women. FAS referees manager Azif Banda says the program was for FIFA and other national selected referees that underwent the training from the comfort of their homes under the COVID-19 regulations. Mr. Banda says the referees were drawn from across the country and were guided and trained on the new amendments of the law of the game by FIFA. Part of the training was pivoted on the importance of physical fitness and how to get back to training after a long period of rest due to COVID-19. The participants were subjected to a written test in order to gauge their understanding during the course. Mr. Banda says that his department is grateful that Andrew Kamanga presidency has prioritized referees' development in their quest to take the game to the next level. The referees manager also disclosed that FAS had cleared all arrears for referees across the leagues as they seek to improve the management of the game in the country. That sports news item brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, a recap of the headlines. Local government suspends Lusaka and Kitwe city councils. HH refutes accusations to dethrone Chief Chitimokulu. PF to hold intra-party elections under new normal. In our international news, U.S. Senator Tom Cotton defends slavery remarks. In sports, 40 referees undergo CAF FIFA online training. The Camnet World News verse of the day is coming from the book of Ecclesiastes 7, verse 8, and it reads, "The end of a matter is better than its beginning, and patience is better than pride." Remember to always mask up, observe social distancing, and always sanitize. Thank you so much for watching Camnet TV, not just another channel. My name is Banda Tandiwe. Pleasant viewing.